guys, what's up? And welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be me reacting to your period horror stories for the third time because this is the part 3 of this series that I am doing on my channel. I'm doing one of these videos every single month, and honestly, they're just so much fun for me to film. Like, I'm really excited to react to even more of your guys' period horror stories. Around 3 weeks ago, I think I actually did this on November 1st, and this is actually my last November upload, this video. And so I posted on my community tab at the beginning of November, hey guys, here's the post for you guys to leave your crazy, embarrassing, insane, and or funny period horror stories that you have for me to react to in a part 3 of my reacting to your period horror stories series. Doing one of these every month, so this is the post for November. Little behind the scenes thing, I'm actually on the end of my period right now, and I'm currently wearing my infamous period pants right now because I'm on the end of my period. I actually filmed a period day in my life. It'll actually be going up after this video, so make sure to stay tuned for that because I know a lot of you guys not only enjoy just this period series of like reacting to your period horror stories, but you guys also enjoy my period days in my life, so make sure to stay tuned for one of those coming really soon. And so yeah, before I react to your period horror stories for the third time, please like this video and comment down below if you have seen the part 2 before or like the part 1 before, like if you have seen my other videos in this series so far. And if you have not, like this is the first of the series that you're watching or like you just stumbled upon my channel, then I will link part 1 and 2 down below for you guys to check out. And also comment down below any period horror stories that you guys have because I would really be interested in hearing those. Honestly, I really love this series. I love filming this series, like reacting to your period horror stories. So yeah, I don't want to talk anymore. I want to react to your guys' period horror stories for the third time, so let's get into the video. So I'm not going to be reading these in like any particular order or anything, and I am sorry if I don't get to all of your period horror stories because I'm just like reading them off of the order that they are on my community tab. So yeah, let's get into the first story.
First period story.
I got my period right after I turned 12. It was the last day of my first period and it was a spirit day at school, which meant I could wear a shirt that had the school logo on it as well as jeans. In first period, I was feeling a little uncomfy down there, so I asked the teacher to go to the bathroom. She said yes, thank God, and I walked as fast as I could to the bathroom. I looked down in shock. I had leaked through my favorite jeans. Since my mom was a teacher there, she called my dad and brought me some jeans from home, and I felt so embarrassed for the rest of the day. Okay, but I'm sorry, she called your dad to bring jeans. Did she like tell your dad the reason? Was she like,
our daughter has her period and she kind of leaked through her jeans, can you bring her a new pair?
That's also so cool that your mom like works as a teacher at your school. I think it's really sweet that she like called your dad. Like your dad was probably so confused. Okay, next one. I went to the pool with some of my besties on school camp and I felt fine with a slight stomachache. Oh no. It went well until I got out and I was dripping blood. I was 8 at the time and extremely terrified. I thought I was dying because I was so little. The teachers were not prepared for an 8-year-old to get their period, so I had to ask my 2nd grade teacher to give me one of her pads. It was mortifying and scary. The worst part was my teacher didn't have any. So that's why little old me got stuck wearing toilet paper for 8 days. Oh my god. Honestly, I feel so bad for anyone who got their period like really young. Like 8 is so young and I'm so sorry that that happened to you. Like it must be so scary. I mean, you do have kind of an advantage because by the time like most people start getting their period, like around 12, 13-ish, you've been having it for so long, you're like so prepared, you can be like the advice giver and like give all the tips. So I honestly think that's a really cool part of getting your period super young. I personally got my period when I was 13, almost 14, so I feel like I was kind of on the later end. Okay, next one. I got my 3rd period in the middle of vacation, so obviously I was not prepared. I was showering on the day my flow was the heaviest. We were staying at an Airbnb, so it would not be good if I stained anything. I was getting out of the shower when I realized I had forgotten to bring my clothes into the bathroom. I knew I'd have to just run out there and grab them, so I wrapped myself up in a towel and darted out. When I was out there, I struggled to find a pair of clothes that had pants loose enough to not show the pad line. I was out of the bathroom for about 45 seconds and then I ran back to the bathroom. I dropped everything on the floor and sat on the toilet. A few long streaks of blood had ran down my legs. I ended up just wiping it with toilet paper and I was fine in the end. I actually made a whole video about the struggle of showering and bathing on your period. I will link that video right here, but basically I gave tips to like make sure that you have clothes with you in the bathroom so you don't have to run out and then like the streaks of blood won't run down your legs. I could totally see that happening to me because I'm a very fit person. And like I could totally see myself just forgetting to bring my clothes in the bathroom and then like I run out and like get blood on the floor. It was my first period. I was 10, so I was at rock climbing wearing black pants. Luckily, I suddenly got a cramp and literally had to come off the wall and sit on the ground while waiting for the pain to go away. It was so embarrassing because my rock climbing class only has boys, me and my coach is female. After my rock climbing class, I immediately went to the toilet and I got my period. I had a pad with me. I always do because my mom knew that I would get my period very soon, so she gave me a pad to put in my bag, which was good. It was kind of weird because I was with my father and I did not dare to tell him. P.S. My period lasted 9 days. Your first period? My first period lasted like a week, but it was only heavy for like one day. I feel so bad for you. That's like such a rude awakening to getting your period. Like you go from no bleeding out of your body to like
9 days of bleeding out of your body.
I'm so sorry that that happened to you. This was my second period. It was in July and I was about to leave for the airport. I had been feeling really sick, but I thought I had eaten something funky. I was literally about to leave for the airport and I went to the bathroom and I had it. It was still only the brown stuff though, so I thought,
okay, it's fine. I'll just bring a few pads and worry about it when I arrive at my uncle's house.
so I went to the airport and I got on the plane and all that stuff and I went to sleep. When I woke up, I felt something wet. This is my worst nightmare. This here is my worst nightmare. I went to the bathroom and took off my shorts. It wasn't the brown stuff anymore. It was a
heavy flow.
I had stained all my shorts and I didn't have a change of clothes. I had to wrap my white sweater around my waist and wear double pads. Why didn't you put a pad on when you first saw the brown stuff? Oh god. Then we landed in Germany for our connection flight to Spain and we got stranded there because our flight got cancelled whilst I was still gushing blood. Then when we finally got to my uncle's house, I had to throw away my favorite sweater and my favorite pair of underpants. That was the best plane trip ever. I love your sarcasm so much. I think that's the worst one I've heard so far because like just being on an airport, like an airplane, like away from home, I am so sorry that that happened to you. I was riding home from a church group with my youth pastor. He has 2 sons. It was my first period and I had just assumed once I put a pad on I would be good for 6 hours. Wrong. I went to the bathroom right before we left and there was so much blood, but my idiot self didn't bring any other pads and I was too embarrassed to ask someone for one. I spent the whole car ride panicking on what the heck I was supposed to do if I leaked. By some miracle I didn't, but that story haunts me. That is why I always have backup pads on me. Like always, even if like I'm gonna be gone for like 30 minutes from my house, I always have backup pads with me because like I never know what's gonna happen. Oh my god, that is so amazing that you didn't leak though. Like that would have been so embarrassing. I was on holiday and was in a restaurant with my parents. We were just having a nice meal and I needed to use the bathroom. But on the way to the toilet, something unnecessary happened. Also, I was wearing pink shorts. I pulled up my shorts and then a drop of blood fell from my shorts onto the floor, like in the floor of a restaurant. But it gets worse. And then in front of a man, my pad fell from the inside of my shorts. I think my shorts have some kind of problem with the fabric because 2 times in a row when I've been wearing shorts, my pad slips. And the pad that fell was literally stuck to my shorts. Luckily, my mom didn't see because she was looking at the sea when this happened. So your blood fell out of your shorts and then your pad fell out of your shorts. Maybe you should get more sticky pads or like better shorts or something like that. That must have been so embarrassing. Oh my god, I'm really glad that no one saw, but like, I'm really sorry that that happened to you. So my first ever period story. It was the day before the first day of school and I was about to leave my friend's house because we had a sleepover before school started and my stomach was hurting, so I went to the bathroom and I felt kind of weird, so I went pee and saw it and was freaking out and called my mom and told her and she started crying out loud, so I had to go to the first day of 7th grade with horrible cramps, but I survived it. I can't imagine like getting your period on the first day of school. I remember the first day of my 7th grade year, like I can't imagine like waking up with my period on that day. That's so crazy. I am so sorry that happened to you. It was picture day at my school. I was in 7th grade and I was rocking my white pants and favorite pink top. I was so excited, so I went to the bathroom and went to pee as usual. Then I found a crime scene in my underwear. My flow was so heavy I wasn't expecting it. The blood ran down my white pants. There was a big stain and I had no jumper to cover it with. I walked out of the bathroom doing the walk to find my friend who handed me a pad and her jumper to tie around my waist. Sadly, whilst I was taking the photo, they wouldn't let me keep the jumper around my waist. Why? So I had to take it off and reveal the stain. I told the guy to hurry up so I could run out and call my mom to pick me up. She picked me up, baked me a cake, and I had the worst day of my life but the best party of my life. Rest in peace to my white pants. So before we talk about this, can we just take a moment to grieve this person's white pants? They will never be forgotten. Anyway, that is insane. I love that your mom like threw you a party and baked you a cake though. Like that's so sweet. That's like what my mom did. My mom, if you didn't know, baked me a red velvet cake when I got my first period. That is so funny. I am so sorry that that happened to you on picture day. So this was like my 3rd period. I thought I had finished my period since it was like the 6th or 7th day and I had gymnastics, so I just put in a panty liner before we left. I went to the bathroom and saw that there was a bit of blood, but I ignored it and left. Big mistake right there, I already know. At gymnastics, I felt like I was bleeding a lot, but I told myself I was just being paranoid and to keep going. To the end, we were just doing random stuff and I went on one of the bar things. Ours has a mirror in front and I saw blood on my gray leggings and I died. I don't think anyone saw, but there was this younger girl next to me when I saw, so she could have seen. I hope she didn't. I went to drink water and I stayed there for a while thinking if I should just go put in a pad since I had one in my bag or just wait to go home because it was near the end. I decided to just wait and was just standing really awkwardly until my mom came to pick me up and I told her, and we went home and my underwear was
soaked in blood
and those leggings are still stained. That is
horrifying.
I love the part about like the mirror. You were in the mirror doing your gymnastics gymnastics and then like, I don't know, like maybe you lifted your leg or something like that and then you saw blood. I'm so sorry for laughing. Like, I'm actually really sorry that something that horrifying happened to you. I was in math class and my pad felt wet, so I told the teacher male. I had to go to the washroom and surprisingly he said yes, but when I was walking out the door he asked what was in my sleeve and then he took me to the front of the classroom and told me to take out whatever was in my sleeve. Then I took out my pad from my sleeve. The whole class was laughing, but not my two guy best friends and my best friend. I can't say that what he did was wrong because like sometimes I know that teachers get worried that kids are like going to the bathroom to do like wrong stuff or something like that, but the fact that then you pulled out a pad in front of the whole class. Okay, so it was the morning we were going on holiday, yikes, and I was laying in bed and it felt like I peed myself. I stood up and blood chunks and all just fell onto the floor. Everyone was busy getting ready, so I quickly cleaned it up. Nobody ever noticed. What do you mean by blood chunks and all? Like, did your entire, like, just fall out of yourself onto the floor? When I got my first period, at first I thought there was something wrong with me because the blood was brown, not red, so I was searching it up and it said I could have diabetes and I got so scared, but then I asked my friend and she said she got it too and I was so relieved. Honestly, this is why I want, like, more period education in the world because, like, it's so normal. Mine was, like, a light pinkish purple, like, brown. Like, it's not red in the beginning and sometimes when you're on your period, just, like, when it's not your first period, it's brown. That's so funny that you thought it was like diabetes. Like now I'm actually interested. Like what were you looking up to make the internet say that you had diabetes because you had brown blood instead of red? One time I was on a beach trip with my family. It was more of a babe, but anyways, I was on my period at the time and I really wanted to go swimming with my family, so I asked my mom if I could try a tampon for the first time and she said okay. So she told my aunt and then my aunt postmated some tampons for me. Anyways, my aunt also got some snacks for the rest of the family in the order, so the order came, so she put the bag on the table. My uncle went through the bag and took out the tampon box and then froze for a second and slowly put the tampons back in the bag. That was so embarrassing. After that, I used one of them and went swimming and took a dry tampon out and I thought I was going to pull out my organ, so I told my mom to help and she had to pull it out of me and never use a tampon to this day. I think that's really funny about your uncle, and honestly, I think it's really funny that your aunt ordered snacks along with the tampon. And your mom had to pull the tampon out of you. That is such a chaotic story. Thank you so much for sharing. I was 11 and I was in a water park with school. It was a school trip. I felt something weird, but I didn't pay attention to it, so I continued in the pool. Then a boy in my class started screaming and saying that I was dying in the pool because of all the blood. It was my first period, so I didn't have supplies with me, but luckily my friend had hers. We ran to the bathroom to change. They had to clean the pool. It was so embarrassing. All the teachers were looking at me, but I think that most of them don't remember this anymore. I feel like in one of the other period horror story parts of the series I've done, I heard something about like they had to clean the pool because of the period. That would be so embarrassing for me. Like I would die of like I'm so sorry that that happened to you. So basically one morning I woke up, went to the toilet and found out that I had started my first period. I was kind of freaking out because I had no idea what to do. My mom hadn't talked to me about it because she did not expect mine to start so early. I did not know where the pads were or how to put them on and I was really scared to tell my mom. So I hid my period from my mom for a whole day. That night I woke up late at night and found that it was gushing really bad, so I got myself together, called my mom over and told her. That's when I realized I could have told her in the first place without worrying because her reaction was kind of excited for some reason. Anyway, she still has no idea and thinks my period started at night. I don't know, maybe I will tell her someday, but nah, not now. Honestly, that's really cute about your mom. I'm so glad that she was like excited. Like I feel like that's such a good reaction for like your mom to have. It's like the reaction any mom should have, but like honestly you should definitely tell her and just say like I was kind of scared, but now I'm like feeling less scared and I really want to tell you like what actually happened with my first period. I honestly love this story so much. Thank you so much for sharing. This is more of a funny one, but when I got my period I literally got it while using the toilet. It came out while I was sitting there. I freaked out and thought I was gonna cry. I ruined 4 pairs of underwear that day. 4 pairs? What kind of period was that? One day I was at the gym and I noticed so many people staring at me like they were disgusted. I was so nervous I didn't know why. After 4 hours I left the gym and I was walking outside on my way home and a nice old lady came to me and whispered, "There's a red spot on your shorts. I think you are on your period." I was so shocked and finally know why people were looking at me at the gym. What I didn't understand till this day is why nobody told me when I was there, especially since it was a women only gym. Do they have periods too? I never went back to it again.
I would never go back to that gym ever again either.
Why didn't they tell you? And the last period horror story that I'm going to be reading is actually a pretty long one, so I'm really excited to like dive into this and like read it. So here we go, last period horror story of this part 3. So it had been around half a year since I had started my first ever period. It had been very irregular, where I had been on for 16 days then off for 8, which is obviously not normal. At first I thought it was just because I was in my first year, but it didn't seem normal. Honestly, I've been going through so much period irregularity too. I totally relate. Anyway, I had came on, which again was after only a week of being on, so I was already so annoyed and stressed out. At first I thought, I guess I'll just deal with it, and went to bed. The next morning I woke up to blood everywhere. Keep in mind I had changed just before I went to bed and put on an overnight pad on, had around 7 hours of sleep. It had gotten all over my bed and PJs and I was so stressed out I didn't tell anyone because I was scared and didn't know what to do. Luckily my sister was at school, but I wasn't because I was isolating. I thought I could deal with it later and just carry on my day. However, it was ridiculously heavy. I was changing my pad almost every 20 minutes and blood would not stop pouring out. My emotions were also everywhere. I remember crying because I couldn't have my mom's soup. Like, who cries about soup? This is so chaotic. Anyway, I leaked through everything I wore. This carried on until about lunchtime until I messaged my mom, who I only see at the weekend since I live live with my dad and stepmom, and I told her I was in a mess. I didn't know what I expected her to do from 2 hours away, but she messaged my dad and told him. My stepmom then came upstairs and said my dad had told her, and she talked to me about it, and I have no idea why I didn't tell her in the first place. It all worked out because now I'm on birth control to regulate and control my periods. You had to change your pad every 20 minutes. Your mom was 2 hours away. It got all over your bed. That is such a bad period horror story. I'm literally in shock right now. I'm really glad that now you're like on birth control to regulate and control your period. It's honestly just so scary to have like such irregular and like heavy periods. I'm so glad that you were able to find something to really help minimize your chances of going through a period horror story like that ever again. Anyway guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it, and I really hope that this video just like entertained you and just kind of made you like sympathize with these people who shared their period horror stories. And yeah, I just wanted to give like a huge thank you to every single one of you guys who shared your period horror stories, because obviously without you this video would like not be possible at all. So thank you so much for sharing. As I said, I'll be doing one of these every single month. It's like a little series I'm doing on my channel reacting to your period horror stories. So this month in November was a part 3, and next month I will be doing a part 4, so make sure to stick around for that. And also, as I said, I will have parts 1 and 2 linked down below for you guys to go check out if you want to see me reacting to like more period horror stories and like you haven't checked out part 1 and part 2 yet. And so yeah, before you leave, please like this video, and if you made it to the end of this video, comment down below. Periods are insane, because honestly periods are so insane. Like just reading these stories really makes me realize how insane they are. Like they come so unexpectedly in like the worst times, and like just so many variations. Like everyone's so different. Like periods are just so insane. So if you made it to the end of this video, comment down below. Periods are insane. And also please subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more period related videos, because if you didn't know, my channel is so period centered. I make so much period content, period tips, period relatability, period advice, period life hacks, period days in my life, weeks in my life, period routines, just so much period content. So if you're interested in some more period content, and also like if you're interested in seeing more episodes of this series of me reacting to your period horror stories on my channel, definitely subscribe to see those videos, and also just more period content in general. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching it, and I love you guys. Bye.